Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got to talk about the amazing things that are happening to dismantle the California argument and a few other states' arguments against Warner Brothers Discovery being acquired by Paramount Skydance. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're willing to put it in writing. So stick around. Let's talk about Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery. Here we go. And just as the thumbnail suggests, Paramount puts it in writing. That's right. According to the headline here from Matt McGloin over at Cosmic Book News, they're going to guarantee AMC and Regal 30 movies a year. That's incredible. That means they're going to release those films other places, but they're gutting the state's best argument against allowing them to combine into one unit. And from the story itself, I'm going to tell you, they really did a lot to disassemble any kind of conversation about this. I don't know what Rob Bonta and the other crazies are thinking outside of the political realm, but that's the only thing that they have is a political argument, and it's starting to show. From the story, Bonta's best argument just lost its teeth. He doesn't like the fact that he's being defanged. As a matter of fact, he went on to whine about it in the trade papers this morning, saying it's misinformation. I don't know how, but per a Bloomberg scoop, Paramount has agreed to sign contracts with the world's two largest theater chains, guaranteeing it will release 30 movies a year in cinemas if it buys Warner Brothers. That is unprecedented. Never heard of this before. And you know what? Hard to fight against it if it's in writing. It's a contract. It's a conversation that was thought of, considered, and was accepted by the nation's, or I should say the world's two largest theater chains. They need these movies. The rest of the world needs these movies. These movies will get made, they'll get distributed, and we'll get the chance to see them for a period of years. They're even going to guarantee the amount of time that they're going to be in theaters, and they're going to hold off on streaming for 90 days. In fact, let's check it back into the story because I think that's more important. This is a guaranteed 3-year deal. If you keep track of that, that's a lot of films. 3 years, AMC Regal. The terms are 30 theatrical releases a year. That is a lot of movies, 90 movies in all, each playing exclusively in theaters for at least 45 days and held off streaming for at least 90. Where is the state's arguments? How is this limiting competition and production? If anything, it's going to boost it because right now the two studios together are really not quite meeting these same numbers. I mean, I know it's possible. I'm watching non-studio like MGM, Amazon be able to produce films at an accelerated rate, releasing somewhere between 12 and 15 a year. But they're going to try to accelerate their growth, and it looks like so is Paramount. Now, the agreements are private per Bloomberg sources, but their purpose is very public. Yeah, to take away the teeth of Rob Bonta and all of the other ridiculousness out there trying to protect the propaganda mechanism known as CNN. I'm sorry, that's just the way I see it. And the word unenforceable just stopped working because this is enforceable. These are contracts. Zaslav promised 20 movies and delivered 9. So why believe Ellison's 30? Well, because if you put it in writing, it's guaranteed. The state's own court filing against this particular situation is the one that uses Batgirl as evidence. But that was a different CEO at a different time, called the 30-film pledge unenforceable and implausible, which just isn't true. Contracts have teeth, they have merit, and they have the ability to force compliance of the other side, something that I guess the attorneys general don't understand or don't think you understand, which is more likely. Now, a contract is the opposite of unenforceable. That is the entire point of a contract. If Paramount breaks the promise, AMC and Regal can take it to court. A pledge Bonta said no one could hold Paramount is becoming something two of the biggest companies in exhibition can sue over, which again defangs Bonta. Claws him, whatever you want to call it. De-huevos him. I don't care. Pick your metaphor, but it takes away any teeth in the argument. And there's the part that most states are worried about. that their lawsuits backed by the Cinema United, a lobby that speaks for theater owners, including AMC and Regal, are, well, essentially going to have to rethink this. If you look at a week, AMC boss Aron backed the deal in an op-ed, writing that if the AGs really care about theaters, they should focus on holding Paramount to its promises, and AMC intends to. Regal CEO Eduardo Acuna followed by calling Ellison sincere, revealing Ellison has even offered the states a consent decree and warning that a long trial could be damaging to our industry. Well, yeah, Warner Brothers isn't investing in films the way they were before. In fact, it was pointed out 9 films instead of 30, or however many were promised back then. And I'm going to tell you, Zaslav really hasn't delivered. Of course, neither is DC Studios, and we really need some change when it comes to some of these studio heads so that we can forge forward with fresh ideas and a lot less politics. How do you do that? You do it with enforceable contracts. And if you've got CEOs of these major chains saying that this is the way forward, well, it should be. Both of those chains handed contracts, and now the states say they are suing to protect theaters, and the 2 biggest theater companies on the planet keep siding with Paramount. Now, the settlement board fills in. If you count the pieces on the table, you have Newsom pushing Bonta to settle, the judge telling both sides to pick a settlement referee, and everybody wants that to proceed forward. There's zero reason to keep this court fight in place if they've already removed all of any legitimate claim that could be there. Ellison is saying that Paramount is absolutely open to a deal. They just got to get it done. They've already made them in many other markets, the UK and in the EU, which tells you that they're capable of, making things move around to make this deal work, shifting the chess pieces per se. Now, everything Paramount is signing privately is exactly what a settlement should demand publicly. But guess what? If you defang the arguments of these guys, it's going to make them look dumb. And per insiders over at Cosmic Book News, the peace offering was always built on the 30 movies and 45-day windows, and now it's going on paper, which should put everybody at rest, I would think. But those are my opinions, and I feel very strongly about them. Bonta asked why anyone would believe the next promise of 30, and the answer came back in writing in the form of a contract. Well, I'm going to tell you as somebody who has signed many a contract. They are enforceable, and you can get sued over them, even if it's not for legitimate reasons. I have a feeling that the theater chains are going to want performance from Paramount, Skydance / Warner Brothers Discovery, and I imagine they will probably get it, which means we'll get more films than we were under David Zaslav, and we're going to get more access to more things faster with not only a streamlined process from front to back, but also a more defined inventory model we can count on, which will also help out streaming. Let's not forget about that if that's something that you enjoy. Anyway, those are my thoughts about this deal. What are yours? Let me know them down in the comments section below. Is this thing actually going to execute? Are you behind the Ellisons, or are you behind the radical ideologue attorneys general that are out there trying to stop the deal? Let me know those thoughts in the comments section below. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya! Hopefully at a good movie, maybe by Paramount or Warner Brothers Discovery.